Jada, I love you. G.I.J. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
We now have all seen this rather infamous performance. As someone who's worked in teaching and training across the age ranges, that includes from children to senior citizens, 4 red flags were raised in this act. You never single someone out and talk about their physical appearance unless they're in on the joke and it's some sort of roast. Never publicly talk about someone's medical condition. Now, their physical appearance could be due to a medical condition, and that is why you never talk about people's physical appearance. You don't want to be roasting somebody in front of a family member, again, unless they're in on the joke. Black women have always been the low-hanging fruit for mockery. Black women do not have any more psychological or emotional strength than other women. And if you wouldn't say it to another woman of a different ethnicity, you don't say it to a black woman, period.
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard.
Did I agree with the slap? No, because Jada was upset. Will is her husband, but she was in no physical danger. So I don't believe he should have got physical. From an early age, I never used physical violence because I tended to be the only black person in the room, and people realized that they could provoke me physically and verbally, and if I responded, I would look like the bad guy. So I learnt to be very verbal with my responses to any kind of attack or abuse. However, I would have said something, and I would have said something there and then. If you're going to offend me, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally in a particular environment or setting, I am going to tell you how I feel in that same setting or environment. So, how did the public take all this commotion? It was as expected by me. The people who had objected to the Black Lives Matter campaign and didn't really care that black people had been murdered by the police now were saying that Chris was seriously assaulted by Will Smith. For me, this stance is just about credibility. If you don't care that I've been murdered, you won't care that somebody slaps me in the face. So this was more an opportunity to destroy Will Smith as opposed to really thinking about a slap in the face to Chris. The second major topic that would be contention for the public would be the involvement of a black woman. Being a black woman that has been in the public eye very briefly, but more importantly, a YouTube creator, I knew what to expect and I was ready and prepared. I was all ready and prepared with my safety get-up for the hornet's nest that would be disturbed by this incident. Whenever I talk about the subject of latent hatred towards black women still existing, a lot of people will comment and tell me they are offended by my statements. However, their actions never prove them right, and their actions never prove me wrong. That's like somebody saying they resent you calling them a pickpocket while they have their hands shoved into your bag. You're not going to stop or change, you just don't like the label. I mean, how can a person seem toxic if you don't know anything about that person? And I'm going to answer the question I've just asked. She just has to be a black woman in the public eye and she's going to seem a little bit toxic. This type of contention always brings out the rationalized racist. Now, the rationalized racist is not a card-carrying racist. On the surface, they even appear to be sympathetic to black people. They will claim they don't dislike people because of their colour. They will dislike people because of their actions. However, they have some severe double standards. And this makes them far more problematic than card-carrying racists, because you have to be around them for a length of time to realise they're condemning black people for the same or lesser things that they are forgiving white people for. When it's a black woman, there's no need to go any further. She's shown her true colours. Anything she has to say is not worth listening to. So when a white man is involved in scandal, forgiveness, second chances, we all make mistakes. When it's a black woman, you're suddenly a hybrid of Hitler and Rasputin. I'd like to say I was disappointed by a lot of the commentators and the negative posts about Will's wife controlling him, but I wasn't. I just expected it. And I did ask, for the purpose of this video, a lot of the negative commentators about Jada if they did like any black women in the public eye, and they couldn't give me an answer. A few people did give me, well, I've got black friends and I've got black neighbours and my brother's got a black girlfriend. Racism is not so much about hating, it is about power. And if you reel off a list of black women that you like, who are either deceased or in lowly positions that you can control, well, yes, you're a rationalized racist. And if I'm honest with this iceberg, the deceased black women can be struck off the list, as rationalized racists only like them because they can't cause any more trouble. Even though it's the 21st century, people still hold very antiquated views when it comes to black women, how we should behave and how they should treat us. So many people still see us as a way of relieving their tension or as an emotional or physical punching bag. And the more your real life or your personality rejects this kind of behavior, the more they're going to get upset with you. And the moment they see any conflict in your life, they will dive in. In fact, they will dogpile on you and you will see their true feelings. Their approval actually is a way of socially engineering black women. If you approve a certain behavior and disapprove a certain behavior, what you hope will happen is that black women will look at the positive and say, this is what we need to be like.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Oh, did I hear you say ma'am? Oh, no. We can't have that in this household. Now, from now on, I want you to call her Carol and me Maud. Now, what shall we call you?
Mrs. Evans.
Just because a black woman is not living a life according to the stereotype in your head doesn't mean that they are some sort of Svengali or Rasputin. And can I add, the concept of black women nurturing and defending white people altruistically and expecting nothing back is 100% artificial.
You is important.
Oh, yeah. Bullshit. You are such a bald asshole. I can't even begin to... You talking to? Don't nobody talk to my man like that. You better get your ass out of my house.
And the concept of black women never needing defending, never needing nurturing is 100% artificial and a concept only brought about via slavery. The concept of black women being emotionally and physically and psychologically strong is a concept of slavery. I have lost count with the amount of people who have said to me over the years since a child, I didn't think you would mind. I didn't think it would upset you. I thought you'd be able to cope. Based on what? The black actress's happy disposition in Gone with the Wind as slaves? That's fiction. That wasn't reality. This is reality. You had to murder, maim, and abuse black women to get them docile. And it might come as a shock, but some black men do defend black women out of their own choice. They don't just sit on their asses and say, you're a black woman, you're strong, fight your own battles, I'm not getting involved. As I said, I don't agree with the slap, but the notion that people have that Will would not do anything to defend Jada unless she controlled his mind is ludicrous. In Western culture, people are very proud of their kings and queens, their princes and princesses. I was born and raised in the UK, and a white man defending a white woman's honour is part of the culture. But many comments that I've seen about Jada find it unsettling that a black man can defend a black woman and see a black woman as a queen. If that occurs, the black woman is some kind of Svengali or voodoo princess. This has raised two issues with me. Black women do not deserve any positive attention or any protection. And if we do ever get it, it can only be in the eyes of other people through plotting, planning, and scheming. A houseplant needs more attention in the eyes of many than a black woman. I don't see how in the 21st century people can say they think slavery was bad, but hang on to the traits that were beaten into us. And I'm going to use the same words that I have been told to use on rich white men when they make mistakes. Ain't nobody perfect. We are all human, including the black ladies and the black men. And if you're the type of person that will be disappointed in black women because you're judging them by black women standards instead of human being standards, you are going to continue to be disappointed throughout your life. But that is your problem, not mine.